Denis' movie is truly visionary in that he's managed to take something that is iconic, but reinvent it with a almost more intimate story, one that is like a personal process of discovery. And the score had to accompany Kay on that journey in this kind of maze he finds himself in. And I think there was this immediate need to embrace Vangelis' sound, but with an attitude which was of now, or was of 30 years later at least. And that was a lot to do with the technology we chose. There was the need to create our iconic central sound, which was the Yamaha CS80, which is that very, very lush, broad sound you hear in the Vangelis score, but kind of use brand new, invented sonorities which were all about a puzzle unfolding. And so it was just one of those great creative discussions that ended up with Hans kind of plucking out a tune which Denis immediately responded to, and then which I developed, and it was that kind of flurry of ideas which resulted in this score.
Oh, perfect. And then I guess my other thing is just kind of your origins as a filmmaker. Like, do you remember any films that really fired you up, especially from a composing angle?
Absolutely. I was so lucky to grow up in the 80s, in the heyday of there's still a heyday now with Williams and Spielberg, but E.T. I think was the one which really fired me up as a kid. There was this, I remember I can only remember the emotion I felt, where I was so taken by the sweep of that music, and I had no idea why, but I just couldn't resist that narrative impact. And I just, as a kid, it started off with me just trying to understand what was going on. And I grew up in a family of classical musicians, and that's where I did all my training, but I've always been drawn to the cinema, and the opportunity to collaborate with other artists, not just musicians, for me I'm so passionate about that. So I think, in my teens I just realized that was what I really felt was my path, and it took a while to actually make that reality. I spent a lot of my time in my 20s conducting and doing a lot of classical music, which I still love, but film music for me is my home, and something I'll always look back to E.T. as that initial inspiration for that.
Wonderful, that's about it.
Great.
Thank you very much. Wonderful.